Disclaimer. The views, opinions, and statements expressed in this podcast are for informational, artistic, and entertainment purposes only. They do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, guests, or affiliated organizations. This podcast is not intended to provide legal, medical, or professional advice. While we aim to ensure that the information presented is accurate, we make no representations or warranties about the completeness, reliability, or suitability of the content. Any actions taken based on this content are done at the listener's own risk. The creators and contributors of this podcast disclaim all liability for any loss, damage, or harm resulting from the use or reliance on this content. Furthermore, the podcast may include discussions of sensitive topics which some listeners may find distressing. Listener discretion is advised. All music, content, and creative expressions featured in this podcast are intended to uplift marginalized voices and are protected under free speech and artistic expression rights.
We're AIPAC Zombies, back again. I'm Toshio, journalist, and Mama Ganoush is here with me.
Yes, I am Mama Ganoush. I am a drag artist. I happen to be a Palestinian drag artist and a community organizer, and I am part of the halacollective.com.
And we met through another project I work on called San Francisco. Definitely check out the episodes featuring Mama Ganoush if you have not listened to them so far. We discuss Palestine, we discuss Zionism, we discuss Zionists like the ones we're going to talk about today on this show, which is called AIPAC Zombies. What is AIPAC?
It's the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, which is basically the foreign agents that works on behalf of Israel in U.S. politics.
Yes.
And it's the biggest lobby in American politics and has the biggest amount of influence and money.
And the reason that we named the podcast AIPAC Zombies is because all of the people that we're discussing have sort of been possessed by AIPAC, by Zionism, if not directly by AIPAC, other organizations that it's aligned with in order to keep weapons flowing to Israel, to keep billions of dollars flowing to Israel. And these are some of the people that are helping that happen.
And also, this money that's flowing to Israel is taken away from American communities, where we have almost 52% of this country are poor, where Israel is mega rich.
Yep. Always thinking about how they have healthcare, like universal healthcare.
And education.
Based on, the funds that we send over there.
They also give every kid an Uzi. I don't know if that's true, but they probably gift you a gun as soon as you're age 14.
That is
Just
amazing.
go kill the Palestinians. Yeah. Okay, so a lighter note. What are we talking about
very
today?
much lighter note.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Real Housewife? Or a least favorite?
Oh, yeah. I do, actually. Nene is legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Nene is legendary. I really like Nene Leakes. I also like the Hadid, the one with Yolanda Hadid.
Okay.
Yeah. I like her, and I like the one that's married to the cosmetic doctor.
Oof, that could be many of them.
No, the one with the only brunette in the whatever OC ones.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Heather Dubrow. Okay.
Yes, Heather Dubrow. Which
right.
I don't really know if she's probably she's probably buying apartments in Palestine now.
Oof.
I don't really know a lot about her politics.
It could be.
So don't judge me. But I know Nene. I would say Nene is my favorite.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Pretty good.
And I have my least favorite is Aviva.
Ooh, Drescher. Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah, Aviva from the New York one.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you?
Nene Leakes, I think, is definitely maybe the champion of all of the housewives.
Cross your legs and a married man.
She is the meme creator of all meme creators up there with the likes of Tiffany New York Pollard for sure and Wendy Williams.
Ugh, Wendy's too much. Oh, I like the Christian one that does aerobics and has a gym in OC.
Oof. Oh, Tamra? Wow.
I do
Okay.
like Tamra.
Damn.
And I like
I
her
can't be with you on
partner
that.
who has this fake jaw.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about? The guy with like, I'm sure his jaw wasn't like this. Like he
It's
looks
very, yeah, it's like
poorly
a
made
George
cosmetic
Clooney
surgery.
kind of
Yeah.
very strong
It's
jaw.
very cartoonish.
But Nini is actually involved in some lawsuits with the person that we're talking about today on the episode.
Oh, really?
Which
Oh, we talking about
is-
Andy?
Yes, Andy Cohen,
Oh, okay, cool.
who is a producer on Bravo.
Ooh.
Of course, like is one of the originators of the Real Housewives, and is also a Zionist.
Oh God, no! I
I
like
mean-
his thighs. He's so hot.
You're into the okay.
I was into his big thighs with the suits. I mean,
All right.
like men's in suits. No, he's a Zionist for real. That's horrible.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
really bad.
an avowed Zionist who
gosh.
goes out of his way to prop up Israel whenever he gets a chance.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about this Andy Cohen, who was born in St. Louis in 1968. And he immediately knew he wanted to get out of St. Louis from youth. He describes himself as being a hippie at heart, who loved the Grateful Dead.
Oh my God, he's a deadhead too?
Yeah, I mean, the Venn diagram between like weird Zionists and deadheads is unfortunately bigger than you might think if you just knew like the Grateful Dead as like the hippie band.
Yeah.
Hippies more generally. Yeah, there's some like weird political...
I never thought Andy a hippie because he always comes off
inclinations.
as this like preppy dude, you know, like
Right.
very yuppie.
Right. Yeah. On his nightly or sometimes nightly talk show, Watch What Happens Live on Bravo, he has little like icons of the Grateful Dead, like in the
Wow.
background on the studio set, and then also has a lot of Israel iconography.
No,
For
no.
sure.
Oh God, that's so gross.
So he, seems like he was set to go and make media that was sort of upholding Zionist ideology. As soon as he left St. Louis, he went to Boston University to study broadcast journalism, and he interned at CBS News, where he worked as a producer. And then in 2004, moved to Bravo, which was just starting out, and soon became like the place where people went for reality TV,
Yeah.
like huge gays and girls audience that he developed using productions like The Real Housewives, Vanderpump Rules, and other quote unquote unscripted television.
That makes also like saying this honestly makes kind of sense because that's part of the pink washing campaign that started around 20 years ago, like specifically targeting California.
That's around the time
Yeah, wow.
that like, okay, so
He's
Brand
part of
Israel.
this.
Yeah, Brand Israel came out around that time,
Yeah.
and they were promoting, like Stand With Us is the one that I'm familiar with, and Blue Star Communications, which was started here in San Francisco. These two PR companies that basically their only client was the state of Israel, and what can
They're
we
probably
do?
a foreign agent.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for real. They're two gay guys in San Francisco started Blue Star Communications, and the idea was to implant in the American brain the idea that Israel was this oasis of gay friendliness and queer friendliness in the region.
Oh wow! And then here comes Andy Cohen, the biggest reality like producer and star, basically. Like
Yeah.
his reunions are probably bigger than the actual show itself.
Yeah, no, people love him.
Wow.
He's like the king of Bravo.
Yeah.
But more and more, you find that people love to hate him, which,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, look at anything that he does through a lens that isn't clouded by Zionism now, for me, just because he has been so openly Zionist.
Oh, I'm so grossed out that I didn't see that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess because he works in media, maybe it was like more of a thing that people who are attuned to what's going on behind the scenes in media. I'm working as a journalist. Like, I'm curious about like what's happening in on these different stations that purport to do journalism, such as his CBS, where he did work before, CNN certainly, where he now hosts the New Year's Eve ball drop.
The whole thing with the New Year's Eve ball drop.
Yeah, with Anderson Cooper. He replaced his ex-friend, Kathy Griffin, after she was canceled for posing in a photo with a guillotined head of Trump.
I remember that. I remember we all hated Trump for that, and everybody was so mad for her.
Yeah,
all the gays, like, especially because she's a gay icon, just like Andy.
Yeah, so I mean,
and I guess Gen X, because the ball drop thing, I don't think anyone in my age or younger watched this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's definitely more of like his age group. I suppose that would be watching CNN for the ball drop. But yeah, he something telling was like he didn't stand by her through that whole saga.
Of course he won't. He's a fucking. I mean, he bails on everybody like this. I mean, if you're a Zionist, for me, you bailed on your own humanity. You know what I mean? And your own like critical thinking. So it's just, for me, it's really difficult to respect anymore.
It definitely feels like he also has a thing where he is quick to throw away women, including the ones that he hires for these many shows, because a lot of the programming on Bravo is quote unquote female centric. And so he was quick to drop Kathy Griffin, who he'd been friends with for many years and actually produced one of her shows.
I mean, I could totally see him doing this. I mean, if you're a Zionist, you believe in eugenics. So when a gay person believes in eugenics, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? And whether or not he had nice thighs, but also like it comes with misogyny. It comes with a lot of things because you chose to be someone who literally believes in eugenics, believe that there's a race better than all other races and needs to survive above other races. That's basically what Zionism is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he, as a result, I mean, he has 2 kids by surrogate.
Yeah.
In New York.
I guess his Ashkenazi too, it makes him on the highest like caste
sort
of the pyramid.
Okay,
Zionist.
interesting. Yeah, so he has 2 kids, and he remarked after he had one of his kids that he's going to be keeping some of the sperm frozen should one of his kids not be able to conceive, so that they could continue to keep the bloodline pure, basically.
That is so creepy.
Yeah, totally.
That is like, Hitler didn't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know if the cryogenics were working back in Hitler times. Maybe he would have, but
that's like a narcissist thing.
Totally.
You're like, I want to make sure that this lives forever.
Yeah.
It also comes with Zionism, because although Zionism is extremely homophobic and transphobic, because for them their job is to breed people, especially white Ashkenazi Jews, to conquer the world and like take on the entire Middle East and all this shit, but and kill all the indigenous people. But one of the interesting things is that he's trying maybe to be the cool Zionist, because I'm gay, but I'm gonna give you my sperms forever. And I'm going to serve my purpose to the state of the empire of Israel.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that he's keeping... This is fucking narcissist. Also, it's like...
Totally.
I don't know. Some gays are narcissists too.
For sure. No, plenty of narcissism in the community.
Soda gays. He's one of these vodka soda gays who frees his sperms in case his children cannot conceive.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what would be an asshole move? Is he tied up his inheritance to his children using his sperm.
Yeah, I could see that.
He may totally do this to force them into this.
I could see that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the responses that I've gotten to this, like I made a TikTok a while back that people responded strongly to. A lot of people were like, oh, that's just... the religion, that's Judaism, that's tradition. But to go to that extent, I mean, as someone who is biracial myself, and I have grandparents who were reticent about like my parents getting together. One is white, the other one is of Japanese descent. You know, I have grandparents who were not happy about like the spoiling of the bloodline, as like backwards as it seems to like for those words to come out of my mouth now. That was definitely like their reality, and something that they cared about.
I'm so sorry. That sounds really difficult.
It's just, you know, it's like a very, it's just a racist kind of way of being. And they don't, yeah, there's certain people that don't approve of mixing. And it's
Sorry,
really,
can I
oh,
touch
no,
on it again?
I've gotten over it for sure.
It sucks though.
But yeah, the microaggressions that I remember my grandmother kind of committing against my mom because she was Japanese, and, you know, like,
Poor mommy.
yeah, it's this sort of eugenics adjacent thinking that Andy espouses. And I guess we could talk more directly about his Zionism after October 7th. Like, I remember like the first scent of Zionism around him for me was when he was like reposting this right-wing influencer who is a virulent Zionist who gained notoriety for getting 18 surgeries to look like one of the members of BTS, Jimin. And this influencer's name is Ollie London.
Oh God, I fucking despise this person.
You know, yeah, you know who this person is, yeah.
Tell us more about him. Okay.
I mean, this person is, he has straight up called for, you know, the extermination of people in Palestine. He is...
Could just really exterminate your bad fucking like face job, bitch, before taking on my people.
I mean, yeah, I guess he later apologized to Jimin of BTS for attempting to, you know, do this thing that was clearly the work of a very obsessed fan.
Oh, but what about the people of Palestine? Did he apologize to them?
I know. Yeah. Oh. Nope. No. And this is somebody who Andy Cohen was like retweeting immediately after October 7th.
They probably are friends. You never know.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if he shows up on one of Andy's programs. Although it's something that is interesting that's like an aside, but I did make a TikTok about this previously, but back in like a couple of years ago, he also supported another virulent Zionist named Lizzie Savetsky. You know, she was cast for the Real Housewives of New York, season 14, and would have essentially been like the first out and proud Zionist, because we know there are other Zionist members of the Real Housewives.
A lot of the OC ones are.
Yeah. It's just, you know, you see like a lot of this like conservative Christian background being like mixed in with the Zionism. It's like that very, what do they call it?
Make Israel hot again.
I mean, it is definitely, it is part of the branding campaign to like make sure that you have connections in media like Andy does. And so, sorry, what I was going to say was like, Lizzie Savetsky filmed half a season of Real Housewives of New York before a situation that producers recognized would be too toxic for Bravo. And the situation was that this would-be new character on the show, Lizzie, she talks about being a matchmaker. And so one of the Black cast members, Bryn, asked her to set her up with a Jewish man. And then Lizzie is like, oh, no. Like, I only set up Jewish people with other
White
Jews.
Oh, or probably she means white women.
I guess it's Jews with only other Jews, like much in the way that Andy is like trying to really keep that bloodline pure. I don't even know if somebody who converted would be.
No, they are believers. They're like that, Lord. So like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
The
like
real,
if you go on
the real deal.
If you go on this
like,
person's
they believe
Instagram,
in this eugenic shit.
She like it's pictures of her kissing the ground in Israel, for her birthday, the cake always has this like the Israeli flag.
Yeah.
She dresses her kids up and is trying to like make them into influencers in their own way for Israel. So she and her media like background for the most part was social media, doing social media on behalf of Israel and speaking on Fox News as a talking head as
she's also at Fox News?
an Israeli kind of spokesperson. So
I mean, what worse could it get?
yeah.
Even the liberals will not like her. It's like at this point, like because liberal Zionists say that they're liberal, and Andy, I guess, like based on what you're telling me, he doesn't sound liberal at all. But I guess he would be under like the category of
He
liberal
claims to
Zionist.
be, yeah, he claims to be a liberal, he claims to be a hippie.
Yeah, a hippie would be the one who's like, you know what I mean? Like these sort of propaganda is not working anymore for them.
Yeah, no, I think more people are waking up to the fact that people are labeling themselves as liberal or whatever doesn't mean what you think it means with everyone. You can't just use it as a blanket term that resonates with people anymore because so many people have cynically used it. Just the same with like, I think maybe we've already talked about like how anti-Semitism has been used in this way to the point where in cases where there was no intention, no clear examples of anti-Semitism, and yet it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf around anti-Semitism, unfortunately, which makes it harder to believe people who are experiencing real anti-Semitism.
Yeah. I mean, everything you told me right now is such a trigger. I feel really bad. I feel disgusted of myself that I was turned on by him before. It's so gross.
He gotcha.
It's so gross. If he could fuck with me, imagine like the majority of the people, how much they look up to him, I guess.
Oh, I mean, they're all sucking up to him, like all of the Real Housewives. So including this person, Lizzie, who he aligned with after she was fired because...
Oh, he went on her side?
Yeah, her husband ended up using a racial slur against Bryn, the black cast member. And then the producers were like, oh, this is too toxic for us as Bravo.
Yeah.
And they let her go. They recut the whole season without her. And after that happened, she came out and said, I have been the subject to an anti-Semitic attack. She used that same, unfortunately, overused.
Like that family just insulted and being racist another black woman. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, they're doing the anti-Semitic bullshit thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so not a good...
I don't think an Ashkenazi Jew from New York with that amount of money and power like can have anything else to like lean into to kind of explain the racism outside of anti-Semitism. Like what else would be her like? She could just come out and say, I'm sorry.
So basically this drama was the final straw for Bravo's use of Lizzie as a character, and immediately she pulled this fake anti-Semitism card. Andy immediately came to her side and was like, yes, this is like an issue. This is an example of the anti-Semitism that has been bubbling up for Jews in general in the US.
Oh.
And I mean, even prior to this, like back in 2020 on his Sirius XM radio show, Radio Andy, he said, quote, I'm a proud Jew and a proud Zionist. He's been on many trips to Israel. He was the Tel Aviv Pride ambassador in 2018. Another pinkwashing project was kind of putting all this money into Tel Aviv Pride to, make it seem like this oasis could only exist. This oasis for gays could only exist in Israel.
Yeah, that's really disappointing.
In addition to platforming people like Lizzie Savetsky, maybe didn't work out so well for her, but he is, he's constantly platforming other Zionists like Amy Schumer and Michael Rappaport, who are just kind of like the most, I don't know, like.
Hold on, Amy Schumer is a Zionist?
You didn't know this?
No.
What?
No, I thought she has a lot of other like racist shit that she does, but I didn't realize she's also a Zionist.
Oh yeah, well we might have to do her next.
My God.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's incredibly Zionist. In addition to people like Lizzie Savetsky, he's platforming people that are extreme Zionists like Michael Rappaport and Amy Schumer, who are, on his show and in, maybe not on the air, are like consistently talking about Israel, but like certainly once they step off the studio set,
That's how to make Israel funny again or relatable, or
I mean, that's part of their project is
Yeah.
to like kind of distract you from the really horrendous things that they're doing.
yeah.
So the like one of the more recent things that he's done is like during Pride weekend this year, like Pride, San Francisco, New York.
Oh yeah.
Instead of going to Pride, New York, he hosted the Influencers for Israel
Oh gosh.
conference.
Oh my God.
So
He's
that
like-
was this past year when I guess they thought like, oh, we need to engage the influencers. Of course, like they ended up like he
With IDF
hosted
soldiers or
he hosted a bunch of like 30, 40, 50-year-old influencers who have made the brand of Israel part of their own brand.
Oh wow, that's really scary. That is
Yeah.
so like these people are not hiding what they're
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah. So I mean, it was covered like pretty widely in like the trade publications, like the Hollywood
Oh my
Reporter,
God.
about he is basically, his reason for continuing to be this public figure. He ties it intimately with his role as a platformer and mentor of other Zionists in the media.
Wow, he's like not as just a Zionist, he's a Zionist platform.
Yeah,
It's so scary.
yeah.
And he got
So-
me too. I had no idea all of this existed because the things I know about him are like the mainstream jokes, Nini leaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I know about him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess one thing that's like kind of positive is that it feels like maybe there could have been a time when someone like Lizzie Savetsky would have still kept her job in spite of, all of the negative things that, would be.
They're racist.
Yeah, they're like straight up racist. Zionism, it's racism.
Yeah. But even though, like, it's funny that Andy Cohen came, and I'm sorry that we bring us back to Lizzie, it's because, like, the Brava cut her because of her husband's racism against black people. It's not even about Palestine, but somehow Andy brought it back into anti-Semitism and made it about her being Jewish. Although the reason why you told me about Brava is that they did this because of the racism against this black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how probably will show how Zionism is racist,
Right.
but I don't really know. Like, it's interesting that Andy would go back and like bring up this versus saying like, oh, we should be like a diverse program and we respect black women and black
Right.
people.
Yeah,
That should
yeah.
be the answer.
No, for somebody who's
Especially a lot
made-
of his cast members are black. He made so much money on black
He has
people.
made so much money on people like Nene Leakes, who
Yeah.
sued him and Bravo like as a result of what she said was like a sort of racism while she was a cast member on Atlanta
Wow.
Real Housewives.
Wow.
So yeah, not a good guy. And it is something that like is in the back of my mind when I've watched the shows, and it's kind of like inextricable from the shows
Wow.
for me now. Not that we should be supporting this kind of media anyways. It's super toxic. It's just it's sad when like something that you thought was just like entertainment ends up having these like the tentacles of Zionism exist within the Bravo universe.
And also it's interesting how it much related to straight up racism, like anti-blackness and anti-Palestinian are both the same genre of racism. They're just different ways of racism.
Another thing that I didn't mention was like Lizzie Savetsky's husband is also a plastic surgeon, and he said that if he had someone on the operating table who he found out was like pro-Palestinian, he would basically kill them. So, I mean, not necessarily a doctor you want to... I'm surprised that you wouldn't get your license revoked for saying something like that in the state of New York. But I believe he's still practicing.
I guess as long as we're going to kill Palestinians or other Jews who are pro-Palestine, that's anti-Semitism, by the way. Yeah. Like if you're going to kill a Jewish person because of their stand of Palestine, I guess that's anti-Semitic because Palestinians and like, you know what I mean? Like this is crazy that he would say that. That's against his like doctor code, whatever, right? Like he should be canceled from his own union. Right. That's creepy.
So Andy Cohen, think twice. Before,
even if you have nice thighs, a million of people have nice thighs.
Yeah, you got to block them on Grindr. So
no more cum dumps, Andy. I don't want any of thing from you.
So if you are interested in finding out about other AIPAC Zombies, please check out the archives. We've had a couple of episodes air so far. You can also follow us online. We'll have links in the show notes to all of our social media. If you have other zombies that you want us to put under the microscope, please reach out.
And if you have any thoughts on what we shared, also reach out. Give us feedback.
Any other learning. There might be some more intense indications of anti-Zionism that we left out.
Yes. And thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, Toshi.
Bye.
Bye.